Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm the oboe player from Music Off Canvas. Today we're going to be talking about our project with sculptor Candida Powell-Williams called Glissando, which we performed at the opening of her exhibition at Salisbury Arts Centre on the 24th of July 2012.
Hi, I'm Sophie from Music Off Canvas. In this interactive performance, we led the audience around Candida's sculptures. For her exhibition, Candida had taken 3 characters as inspiration: Elmer the monk, Christina the astonishing, and Leica the dog. Each of these characters had their own world, and it was our job to lead the audience from one world to the next.
During the performance, the 3 of us members of Music Off Canvas took on the persona of Christina the Astonishing, an incredible female trickster from the 13th century who took on impossible feats such as levitating to the top of a tower and being chased by dogs, running through thorn bushes without a scratch in sight. And Candida and ourselves wanted to portray this idea of a female trickster in a slightly comical way. So we used the circus theme tune, and Candida made us really fun, wacky costumes to reflect this idea. We then used this as a transitional theme to go between the worlds of Elmer the monk and Leica the dog.
In keeping with the setting of Salisbury Arts Centre as a consecrated church, Christina enters singing a plaintive chant. She starts singing right up high in the tower as if she is levitated up there, and then comes down all the way and through the audience singing this chant. The chant is sung to the words of Elmer and his giant wings, Christina the astonishing, and Leica, Russia's wonder dog.
The plain chant leads into a progressively dissonant chord sequence, which takes us into Elmer's world. Elmer, the monk, was inspired by Greek mythology and the human's ambition to fly, especially the story of Icarus, with his wings made of wax and feathers, and he created his own. I play a thoughtful and free melody which represents Elmer's desire to fly and his contemplating his first flight.
After Elmer's ponderous melody, the bassoon and the flute start to circle around Elmer, reflecting and developing his ideas as we move into the building section of Elmer's motif, where his wings start to take shape. You'll hear the flute and the oboe hitting the keys as if to make hammering sounds.
After the building music, we hear the sounds of air as Elmer begins his flight. I then play a short melody representing the flying music, and he actually only flew for 15 seconds. This is very brief. While I'm playing this, the flute and oboe stand on either side of me, representing the wings with the way that they move their instruments up and down. And this is a key feature of our Music Off Canvas performances. are choreographed elements. Music abruptly stops after the 15 seconds as Elmer falls to the ground. He then rises but has broken both of his legs, so he struggles and limps along. Me as the bassoonist, I then limp over to Leica's world while the flute and oboe continue with the circus themed transitional music which leads us over finally to Leica's world. While the transitional music is going on, and once I reach Leica's world, I hang up 3 flags that Candida created using screen printing.
Flags were used as graphic scores for 3 solo pieces for flute, oboe and bassoon. We used what we saw in the flags as inspiration for the music. For example, in the flute piece, I saw the red, the orange and the yellow, which made me think of warm desert-like sounds, and then also noticed the feature of the rainbow shape, which made me quote sections from Somewhere Over the Rainbow in the piece. In the oboe flag, you can see what looks like a propeller, which inspired ideas for trill motifs, really high and fast. And in the bassoon flag, there's black and white contrasting daggers, which stimulated the idea of call and response in sound worlds. That call and response leads me on to talk about how we had water as an accompaniment for those pieces. We had a large yellow bucket and used different water sounds with straws, cups, and even our fingers, just to make different sounds. This water idea came from Christina the Astonishing and ties in with her feat of trying to throw herself into watermills.
From the flags we move into the world of Leica, beginning with space sounds and even quoting parts of the Russian national anthem. In Leica's world, the 3 musicians represent a different take on what really happened on the Russian spacecraft mission. I represent the Russian government propaganda, which suggested that Leica was euthanized prior to oxygen depletion. Hannah, on flute, represents the truth as we now know it, and Sophie, on bassoon, represents the confusion of the people at the time.
Euthanized prior to oxygen depletion. Died due to failure of Russian spacecraft.
From this Soviet sound world, which the character of Leica inspired, we end the piece with a long count up. This is our take on the countdown that you hear as a rocket takes off. And it ties in with an idea and a theme that we talked about a lot with Candida, which was the nonsensical and the never-ending. And so we end doing this long count up as Christina going back up into the tower, just where we began.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
So, now you've seen and heard a bit about the ideas behind the music for Glissando.
You can watch the whole clip of a recreation of the work recorded in the White Room of the Salisbury Arts Centre.
And watch this space for future collaborations and performances.